Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Douglas Conservation Commission meeting for Monday, September 16th, 2019. First item on the agenda is a request for determination of applicability. Public meeting 310 Northwest Main Street. Stephen Black. Someone here presenting for that?
Yeah, I'm Steve Black.
Okay, come on over to the table. Let us know what you are planning to do.
I'm just requesting that, first of all, let me introduce myself. I'm Steve Black, 310 Northwest Main.
Okay.
I'm building a home on that piece of property over there. And I wasn't there 3 days in the building process, and it was brought to my attention about a couple trees on my property, the base of a 25-foot strip right on the water, one of which is leaning over a gentleman's fence, and the other one is right at the base of the water. That was decaying, so on and so forth. So it took me some time to really get my thoughts together to see what I wanted to do. I talked to a couple people, and they suggested that I come to you, because it is a liability. I've had a company, an arborist, look at the trees, said it's a liability as far as the trees are concerned, and they should be condemned and taken
Okay,
down.
let me just read the notice in the paper. Legal notice for a public meeting, request for determination of applicability. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Stephen Black, 9/16/2019 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 310 Northwest Main Street, Douglas, and the applicant is requesting to remove 2 decaying trees from said location. Okay, and Steve, you got some pictures?
Yep, so a picture video. So here's the dam as you're coming over the dam. It's this area right down in here. He owns a little sliver.
I have some certified engineering, if you want to.
That's okay.
How many copies?
Take a look
Okay.
at the pictures here. So
Yeah.
as I walk down here, you see it's the 2 trees. One that it's leaning over this fence, and then the other one's right to the left of it.
I'll take a look at the plan that you brought.
You see a 25-foot strip coming off of that, on my property to the water. It's located right at the base of that.
So you can see the split in the tree on this side. It's pretty beat up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Since I've been in, I've lost 2 limbs
One
down
tree
there.
here, and then this one here, right, leaning over.
Yeah. I'm not one to take trees down. I work at a nursery,
Nice.
but they have to go, in my
Okay.
opinion.
You think you might replace them?
I would love to put
With your-
some fruit trees down there.
Employee
Yeah.
discount?
I'm sorry?
With your employee discount?
I'm a Christmas tree. I prune Christmas trees. So.
Yeah.
But I'd like to put some fruit trees down there close. Again, I'd have to come to you, see how close I can put them to the water. But yes, do something down there with some shade.
Are those trees giving any shade to the bank?
Well, they're losing everything.
Yeah, so they're not,
Right.
there's no.
I mean, as you can
purpose.
see, that I wouldn't be here if they're not decaying, because I wouldn't
Yeah,
take
yeah.
them down. It's a liability for me, and
Mm-hmm.
and you can see how the degree of where that fence is there.
Okay, and you're going to climb them? The
I'm gonna have
person's gonna
what?
climb them?
I'm not. I'm gonna have a company come in. I haven't even
Okay.
researched that yet, so I've
Okay.
got to get a professional
And
company. to
then
come
stump in place, and the wood's gonna be taken off the property? or-
Yes,
Okay.
yes. The wood's not good. You can't. It's all rotted. I want to clean that up.
So it's just those 2?
Yes.
Where are they on here?
I'll show you.
I meant to be,
They're right here.
Oh.
That's the 20-foot strip, and one is located right at this corner, leaning over the fence, and the other one is right there at the base.
Okay, board, any questions? What? No. Okay. Entertain a motion?
Do we have to ask the audience?
I guess our only
It's a
question is,
meeting.
are we gonna leave the stumps? They gonna leave the stump?
Yeah.
Nice.
I have no reason to remove the stumps.
Right, yeah, it's part of that wall there. Yeah, so we'll just, with the condition that the stumps remain.
I make a motion to issue a negative RDA with the condition that the stumps remain in place.
Motion been made,
second.
Seconded? All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Before I leave, whoever was on the property, they went and took pictures of the property, obviously.
That was me.
I have paperwork for you, and actually, I met the neighbor, I found out you left it a couple engineering, it must have fallen out of a briefcase or something, there's a couple
Oh,
engineering
couple
plans on the
plans.
property that my builder went and got.
Oh,
But I kept them, and if you don't mind, I'm just gonna return them to the owner,
there it is.
they're his.
We just discovered it tonight.
I just discovered it tonight, I was gonna give them to you tonight, but they,
What's the address?
200.
Oh, do you
Just
have
up the
a
street.
200?
But if
After
you
left my house, you went down there.
if you
Yeah,
were missing
so-
some plans, I had them.
Maybe that's it. I had copies, so, all right, well, thanks.
All right, well, all right, thank you so much. I appreciate meeting
We'll
everybody.
sign that tonight,
Yeah.
thanks.
Thanks, Steve.
It was that dog chasing me.
Right there.
So you want to do discussion topic number 1, Douglas Renewables,
Sure.
170 West Street, Wetland Crossing. We're all set with that?
Yeah, I don't know why she has that on there, but I've been, yeah, I can check, I don't have the photos on me, but they're doing a great job.
That's
Yeah,
This
Yeah,
one,
so
right?
it's,
yeah, no,
Oh,
they're out there, they're right,
it's a solar
Yeah.
project.
Yeah, we
Yes.
discussed that.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
then we wanted Steve to go out and inspect to make sure that all the erosion control is good and,
a couple times a week.
Yeah.
The erosion control's good. They did the replication area. It's all prepped. I asked them to make sure that the key is making sure they're a little elevation, they're at the right grade. A little lower is better than a little higher. And they're prepped on either side of the stream, and they're ready to get their, once their bridge comes in, to get that going, and it's a nice dry period of time. Well, maybe that's why, because they're supposed to
Yeah,
have it, they're supposed to have it in by this week.
right,
Right.
and the time frame, and we wanted to make sure that it wasn't
Yeah,
soaking.
so the
wet
weather's
out
supposed to be
there
good for the next week, so.
For your timeline, for
Yep.
completion.
But you can tell by just walking, next meeting I'll have some photos of my sidewalks.
This is the one with the bond? that we-
Yes.
Yep.
So that went back and forth.
And they were
with the
tight
lawyers.
on the schedule, on the
Mhm.
timeline, so they asked to the end of the month. That was what the question was, that's why I wanted Steve. Okay, and Whitin's Res, the
They didn't-
ABC?
No addition, they never resubmitted the application.
For the revised,
Right.
no, we said it was
So I don't know why that's-
contingent on, verification from you or Bill that the rubble's been cleaned up, and then we were gonna release that.
They were cleaning it up, but I didn't get verification from Bill.
So
that
we
they
had signed,
completed.
that was the
Right, it hasn't been
condition
released,
of it.
right.
Yeah, okay. 25 Webster Street?
25 Webster Street, yep, is this in here? So, Patricia Manning, has this property, maybe I can put it up on the screen for everybody to see where it's at. She wants to, let's see, put it up first. Oh, this doesn't come up in here. 127.
You on the planning board?
Yes.
I saw your signature on there.
Yep. That's mine. And Mike is also on the planning board.
Okay.
Not as legible as
Doing
my,
double duty.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah,
my stamp didn't come out real good there. Came out over somebody or under
Yeah.
somebody.
Is that right? 27 Webster
you won't,
Street.
you won't have it subdivided
25
yet?
Webster.
Yeah, but that's not by the
Probably.
town line, is it?
No, it's,
Oh,
towards the
Oh,
light.
sorry, here we go. Sorry.
It's
it's right,
okay.
yeah.
Route 16.
271. So here's the property here,
Oh, yeah.
You could kind of see that wetland there.
and she
Yeah.
divided it. Let me get rid of it now that you know where it is.
Is that open field there?
Yes, I guess you can look at this both ways. She could put it in 61A, the passive recreation, or we could take it, it's 100%
So it's-
wetland. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you can go.
No, so this, on the screen here, this property here, all this wetland right here, she created the property and wants to donate that to the town as conservation land.
So is it
This-
27 Webster or 25 Webster?
It's not subdivided
Well,
yet.
hers is probably, her house
house,
is
yeah.
27.
Yeah, I got you.
So usually, usually comes in front of the commission. We can have her come in formally at the next meeting, but usually I like to see if the commission it wants to pursue it. Sometimes when it's strictly wetland, they do or they don't pursue it over the years, because it's protected anyways. But if it's upland or open space, or even if it's wetland, you can just put it in the commission's, or in the town's name, under the control of the Conservation Commission.
Well, so to what extent is it? Because there's a nice field in there too.
It's this wetland area. It's
It's
just,
just that.
It's with, yeah.
right.
Parcel A.
No, well, you're talking about the field in the center, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Can you zoom in and see?
Right, because
That?
I can see the parallel, right? I can see the house. I can see the wetland.
Yeah, looks like
So
a little
the
stream
Fields like
in the
right
center there.
here.
Right here, you see
Looks
it?
like it's gonna be 2 lots.
It's the field there.
It's essentially to not pay taxes.
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely.
So before you pursue it, and, we'd have to, under the commission, there's funds, there's funds that the commission has that was given to the town like 30 years ago for wetland, for open space.
Mm-hmm.
And we usually use it for situations where there's people want to donate conservation land. We have to hire a lawyer, and survey's already done, but there's title search, there's deeds. Sometimes,
I would be for no fees to the commission involving this, because there's really no, like Steve is saying, there's no advantage, because it's already,
Doesn't connect to anything, it's just wetland, there's no advantage to us to
Oh,
have it
there's another-
whatsoever. Why
There's
take it
a
off the tax
house on
rolls?
the other side.
I'd be against it.
I think I know right where this is.
Oh,
right
I
before the blinking light
definitely know right where this is.
in those condos.
so we can have her come in front, or you can just make a decision now, or if you're interested, so, or, I don't think it's on the agenda, we can.
25 Webster Street is
Oh,
in the
did she put it on?
discussion,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Discussion of three.
That's,
Wasn't on
so I was
mine.
reading off of it.
Oh, wait, I'm not clear. It's just
The one
This?
parcel. So it says lot,
This line?
whatever that lot is.
Oh, thank you.
This one right
parcel
here.
A.
Yeah, parcel A.
Thank you.
So this is the current, there's 2 lots gonna be in between the wetlands
There's not even
and
any upland to access it. I mean,
No, there's not.
coming by Route 16 or Northwest.
There's nowhere to park there.
There's nowhere to park, that's not safe.
No, I mean, I guess if the owner was here, I'd recommend doing
Isn't that Webster Street
go
down
open
there?
space and
Yes.
do chapter 6.
So why can't you access? There's no,
Okay.
There's no upland to
path or-
access
Street's
it.
right there.
Street's
That's Route
here.
16.
And
Yeah,
that's
that's what I'm
the
saying.
wetland right there.
I don't think you can park on Route
So-
16.
Absolutely not.
There's a
guardrail
guardrail.
right there.
Yeah.
It didn't cost us any money, I
So-
mean, that's fine, you know?
That's the only way I would entertain that. So, no incurred fees.
It does cost the town money though,
Someone's gotta pick it up.
because we lose taxes.
Well, we weren't gonna get taxes out of it anyways. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
we currently are,
Right, we currently are.
but if they go into chapter 61, it's significant reduce. I guess it's not 0, I don't think.
Yes.
Is it? It's
Mhm.
0. Then we're not gonna get taxes on it anyways if they go to open space.
Passive recreation conservation. So,
It's not
in favor?
taxed until it's sold. And when it sells, doesn't it?
No, property
Have the
taxes.
option.
Unless it doesn't come out, it can be forever in 61A.
Yep.
And the person's obviously not gonna ever build anything on there, so they would never, I don't think any subsequent owners. So maybe, I mean, I think the board is moving towards, not being interested in the property.
For the sake
Um,
of the town, there's nothing, and
There can be a formal request if they want, but I think the consensus from the board is that, it would not be advantageous for our mission statement of conservation in town.
Okay. All right, thank
Since
you.
it's,
and then
since
and
it's
then
already-
recommend open space if they're
Yeah.
trying to get out of the taxes.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Thank you. And if she wants to come in next meeting,
Yeah,
have a good.
anybody can come in if they
Do something
want, you can always
formal.
ask.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. 7:15 PM, notice of intent, public hearing 82 and 85 Peters Cove Road. Anthony and Sarah Boucciarelli? Bucciarelli?
Good evening.
Hi.
Margaret Bacon, I'm an engineer with Civil Site Engineering. And I'm here representing the clients for 82 and 85 Peters Cove Road, and here's the public hearing notice.
Thank you. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing for Anthony and Sarah Bucciarelli on September 16th, 2019 at 7:15 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law 131, Section 40. The proposed work location will be done on 82 and 85 Peters Cove Road and involves construction of a single-family house with associated driveway, detached garage, septic system, and other appurtenances. Work activities are within 100-foot buffer zone of Whitin Reservoir.
Okay, green cards, they all came back.
Awesome.
Okay, just to get our bearings, here's Whitin's Reservoir, Peters Cove Road. There's an existing, actually two cottages in different stages of disrepair, and they're both under same ownership. Here's a parcel right here, this one's 82 and 85's on the other side. But Peters Cove Road is a private road, so it's considered, you know, common ownership between the two parcels. But anyways, there's two existing cottages there right now. What our client would like to do is raise the existing cottage here and this existing cottage and do one house, okay, one two-bedroom house with one septic over here on this parcel and put a proposed garage over here where the other old cottage was. And I have a couple pictures here just to kind of show you the two different cottages. Well, here's one that's across the street, that's where the garage is going. And here's the,
Is that
oh, it's
considered a
Seagulls.
cottage?
Now, if you want to see
Is
the
there
video.
any room? Are there any rooms
I
or
think here's-
toilets or?
I think there was an outhouse years ago, that was a cottage.
Okay. Loose term.
And then,
of
I guess those
cottage.
are better
Yeah,
pictures, I
so-
forgot about that.
So I didn't really have too much issues with anything with the property. I mean, everything's outside the 50, and just maybe some of the trees you might be taking down. It's
Yeah, well,
pretty-
actually,
pretty flat.
this
But we'll
plan-
go through the video. I mean,
Sure.
So this is where the cottage is going across the street. I mean, the septic
And
and
Yes.
and the garage. And I'll walk in. So on the plan, you'll see the old shed to the right, which is this right here. To orientate yourself, so I'm looking right, everything to the left of it.
It's uphill a little bit.
Go uphill and then pretty big parcel.
Yeah, it is a big parcel.
And and then after this, I'll walk across the street and then I'll walk around and.
Is this the one that'll come down and be replaced with a garage?
Yes.
And then
That's
what's
across
the
the
one in the
street.
front? They're gonna take one in the front down too?
Yes, they're both coming down.
Which one am I looking at?
So now you're looking at this right here.
Right, you're talking, okay, this one. Not the one that the
Right.
camera was pointing at before.
Right
No,
to the
no,
left.
this one.
This one,
Yeah,
thank you.
yeah.
He was
The
just
gray.
walking over.
It's trying to go slow.
Fine.
It's almost
Yeah.
green.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yep.
So that house right there has a septic tank in its front yard, and then it does go to a leach field across the road.
Mm.
So it is a combined system already over there.
Okay.
These have the revisions that Steve was
Yes,
asking
yeah, yeah,
about?
and actually,
Okay.
here's a couple plans that show the revisions.
Okay, thank you. Katie Grace, can I have that plan back, please? This
Oh.
is the revised one with Steve's comments addressed.
What did you change? You added a stockpile area.
Yeah.
Revisions, noted.
I put the Stockwell area over here across the street, because you really don't have much room on the lakeside parcel. And then also, Steve asked about any decks. So actually, they are having a porch on the lakeside of the house here, but the footprint of the building's not changing. 25 by 40. The house is a little smaller with a 6-foot deck. I showed that, and then what else did you ask for? Oh, additional
You said-
erosion control and, the driveway treatment, he's not gonna pave this here, and actually, this driveway here, and I've got H20 tanks, is also for boat access, so he doesn't plan on paving this one here, probably gonna just, gravel. And then across the street, when he does end up building this garage, chances are it'll be asphalt grindings.
The new house will, how does it compare to the footprint of the old house? Is it
So
the same
that-
size when you taller or not?
You can see the new house, or the old house in gray. It's actually, the new is a little bigger.
There's two of them too, right? That's the
Yeah, you got the
carport, too.
carport, and then the existing house right there is a little,
Yeah, that's
Smaller.
reasonable.
And it's on
This was
slab.
the old cottage.
Right.
It's
and
on
then
a
this is
slab,
the
so
carport.
there's no foundation drain, right?
and then,
Right.
yeah, and it's,
Comparable amount of square footage.
And ZBA,
yeah, we went through ZBA in June,
Yeah.
and we're approved
okay,
there,
and.
and then I will be
Board of Health?
filing septic next week.
Okay. Do we wanna wait for that?
If you want, septic's outside the,
Oh, it is.
Yours-
It
yours
is,
is. It is, that's
okay,
right, yeah.
alright. You just wanted to ask, just to be sure. The tanks are within.
tanks, yeah, tanks are, so it's up to you, I mean,
Would you say about trees being,
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, there are some trees, you can see the trees on the plan there, there's a couple of pines right here where the tanks are going, and then there's another tree where the house is gonna go, and then over here with the septic, it's mostly just saplings and brush and stuff.
So are you saying 3 large trees?
That's
There's
just-
one by the well too.
But we won't be touching anything
Okay.
down here, it's just these two right here,
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Okay.
How far is the structure from the bank of the pond?
It is, from the porch, we're at about 65 feet.
Yeah, the 50 buffers right here in orange. So they actually moved further away from the water.
Is the concrete pad that I'm seeing, is that staying?
That's existing.
so it's just, I think it's this structure here, Mark. It's-
Oh,
Let me-
that's
let me-
what that,
let me
Concrete
go-
pad is, yeah.
let me-
that's
let me-
covered.
Let me go around, see if we can see it. This thing there, right there, that's it right there.
Oh, little patio thing.
Right where I am, right here. See that hornet's nest in the ground?
No,
Careful.
I didn't see that. Huh?
Coffee
Oh,
size
no
hole.
kidding. Wow.
Boy, I got a big mother.
Yeah.
I almost stepped on
No
it.
kidding.
Yeah, so that's the, that must be that concrete pad right here. That's staying.
As far as I know, it is.
Board, any other questions? Machinery will be parked outside the 100.
Chances are it'll be parked right over there on the other lot, because
Yeah,
you've got a
okay.
whole lot more room over there. You just
Alright,
make
we
sure
don't
he
want it
does.
on the other side, that's all.
Right, so
Yeah.
you can just put it in the conditions,
Yeah.
machinery to be parked on,
Away,
Septic.
outside the 100.
yeah. This is lot 85.
Okay. Okay, anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this agenda item? Okay. Board, if you're all set, we've got a DEP number. I'll entertain a motion to close.
Make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. It's a good start. Okay,
Anybody want to do the,
I'm gonna give it a try.
make a motion to issue an order of conditions for 82 and 85 Peters Cove Road, with the conditions that we previously mentioned.
No machinery
No machinery
inside the 100.
within the 100. Anything else?
And 3 trees, so you take it down.
And with, three trees.
No more than 3 trees.
Maximum of 3 trees to be come down.
Okay. Motion's been made. Seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thank you.
We can take the 7:45 RDA public meeting, 36 Ridge Trail. Robert Josie, you wanna come on down? The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Robert Josie on September 16th, 2019 at 7:45 PM in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act. Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40, the proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 36 Ridge Trail, and the applicant is requesting permission to cut and remove trees. Okay. Welcome, name and address, please.
Robert Josie, 41 Depot Street, Douglas, Mass.
And could you tell us a little bit of what you're doing? How many trees?
There's
What's the
5 that I want
situation?
to take down probably in all. 3 of them right now because they're causing a problem with branches falling on my neighbor's property and actually on their, right on their deck.
As soon as I go through, it's
What
a
falls on
couple
there?
trees on the side, you'll see the.
Branches actually falling down on the deck and stuff. And that one tree there, I'd like to probably take down now. That's like starting to uproot. It's leaning over on the shed.
I believe, this is 75 feet, I believe they're all outside 50 feet.
Yeah.
From the-
1, 2, 3 in that
There's
picture.
2 of them that are
Three
at
on
least
the right
75
side.
feet, and one that's
And
probably
then two
about
on
50.
the left side.
Okay. And what do you plan to do with the stumps?
Leave them. I don't want to pull them out because number one, there's a line for the well that runs up through there, so.
Here's a picture from the water, so 2 on this side, on the other side of the shed.
Mhm.
I took a wheel to it, I believe about 55 feet, and then that's what they look like, and then these about 55 feet, and these are 75.
75 foot. Yep.
They're all pine trees. They're not shading the,
Oh, no, they're not shading the water. I was gonna say, they
No.
look like they're shading the house. You might miss
Yeah.
that, but.
5 trees
You
total,
gonna stump them?
plus 50
No,
feet
yeah,
away.
just stump them. In fact, I was probably thinking of stump them maybe a couple feet high and put like a table on them or something.
Beer can.
Whatever
No.
you want to do.
Oh,
Okay.
pines get a little tricky when you start clearing, because usually when they're in a bunch, they're more stable. But when they're
Oh, yeah.
when they're exposed like that, because they're not hardwood, they become dangerous sometimes with they break like missiles.
Yeah.
They just in the winters and stuff. So
Mhm.
Okay. Board, any
Any plan
comments?
for replacement of any of the trees?
not now. I have 3 that are growing off to the side that are getting pretty big all of a sudden in the last 5 years. On the opposite side of those.
Board, any other questions, concerns?
RDA. So I would make a motion to issue a negative RDA with the condition of there will be no stump removals.
For 5 trees.
And no more than the 5 trees that have been identified.
Okay. Motion
Second.
been made, seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
See you, Bob.
Okay, 7:30 PM, notice of intent, public hearing continued, 832 Northwest Main Street. Welcome, name and address, please.
Travis Brown, Andrews Survey and Engineer, here on behalf of George Wiegele. Property is 832 Northwest Main Street. Since the last meeting, we have provided some additional information and revised the plans based on Steve's initial comment letter. We've also received a DEP file number, sent that information along to them. They reviewed it for the minor comment to add the riverfront area on the Form 3, which we've provided. We believe at this time there's, comments have been addressed. I'll just go through the changes from the last plan. They're pretty minor in nature. We did add a proposed shed here in this location for the owner. It's outside of 50 feet. The structure set back to the wetland. It's about the only opportunity that we had to place that shed. Some of the other comments based on the review by Steve was providing a crossing detail, which we show proposed grading there. As we discussed last time, that'll be, area will be gravel added to that existing gravel cart path, and then a layer of pavement put down across there. In addition, there's an existing culvert that runs under that driveway now. We have also added, based on our site visit, there's a channel that kind of runs through this wetland. We've added a second pipe here that will just maintain flow through that crossing. We have revised the wetland replication area. Originally, that area was here, adjacent to the driveway, based on site visit. Determined that the best location would be in here. There's a couple larger trees. We think we can save those as part of that replication area without too much excavation. So we added that. We added a wetland replication detail in here. We have the wetland replication protocol, which now references the bylaw protocols in that. We've added a construction sequence, general construction sequence, how the lot will be developed, a driveway profile to go along with that crossing that shows how the grading will be slightly adjusted through there. So that's the revisions that we've made. I believe everything's been addressed.
Do you have a copy of the
Stormwater
plan?
calcs.
Yep.
I do.
I could have one, Cap, please.
You submitted stormwater calcs, and then I didn't put that in everyone's package because it's pretty thick, but everyone should have the alternative analysis under the Wetlands Protection Act and some of the additional information from the Wetlands Replication Guide we requested.
Where is this located?
It's the last lot into Sutton on Northwest Main.
Oh, yeah, it's that wetland.
Let me bring it up here.
Hydrology of the soils. Did you have that on the plan? That was something in the minutes.
The hydrology, so that was part of the document that I provided.
Oh, okay, the stormwater.
Yes.
Okay. Erosion controls and a break in the wall.
Break in the wall.
Yep, the break in the wall. Let's see, maybe off on this sheet.
Where's Northwest Main?
Can you point something if you were going to
No,
Whittier's?
on the
Mark, it's on the
map.
screen.
Where? By your
Out
finger.
this way.
This is
is
Whittier
the driveway.
Farm up here.
So this is, yeah, so it's right, going
Yeah,
out
it
of
goes this
town.
way, yes.
So where'd you say the break in the wall was?
To
Yeah, the
left
break in the
corner.
wall is right here. Originally, we had shown that stone wall through there, measured that in, there's a benchmark there in the tree, pretty close to it, so that break now appears on the plan. which is consistent with what's found in the field.
How many pipes do you have going through for the wetlands?
So there's one existing pipe at the entrance. We have
Yeah.
added a second pipe based on there's kind of a channel flow through that wetland,
Yeah.
which is a good opportunity to put a pipe.
You have it on the other side, right?
Yeah, so it's
She doesn't
showing
have
up
that
on the
one.
blown up.
Invert, this should be right here.
Yeah.
Invert in, invert.
It's
141.
just two pipes from one side of the wetlands to the other. Isn't that gonna break up the continuity of the wetlands entirely?
Well, there's one existing pipe now, so we're
Right.
adding that second pipe because based on the field observation, there's kind of a channel running through.
Yeah.
Even if you added one kind of in the middle, that flow doesn't necessarily get to that point. So we added one where there's
Where the
obvious flow
is
coming through.
happening. Yeah, and that's only 12 inches.
It's a 12-inch pipe, yep.
What kind of, did you do the open flow analysis for that to see if that's enough water to carry
We
what's
did, so
currently
we
going?
provided HydroCAD calculations
Okay.
that shows that that pipe can handle it.
Yeah.
It just seems skinny, right? Because we've seen other places where there's room for like theoretically your wildlife to pass in between there. And wildlife aren't gonna go through
Yeah,
a
I agree.
12-foot diameter pipe that's like, what, 15 feet long?
Right.
I agree.
And it depends
It's
on
just a 12-inch
how
pipe.
high up is, the driveway's not gonna, it's not gonna be 4 feet higher than the, so the profile, it's a low profile.
Yeah, it is. It's only a couple feet from that driveway down, so you're not creating a berm or a wall effect where
My
you're trying
concern
to
is
get
I wanted to
wildlife.
calc, so the water just doesn't overtop it.
Right, that's what I would,
Right.
also that. I mean, I was thinking more of the wildlife,
How much
but
volume would
also
be,
that. Yeah,
And I'm always for putting more pipes, just even, if it, you know,
yeah,
meets the minimum criteria, just so sheet flow, but, you know, you don't dry up this backside.
right. So
But he-
there's a serious grade here. Isn't,
It
yeah,
drops afterwards, yeah. It's flat there, and then it starts.
in this area?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it starts to drop off after. But you can see it, when you go out there, you can tell how it's just coming off the hillside. all
Yeah,
around.
there's not a ton of water that comes up, but it comes up to the high point basically of northwest Maine in that area, so that street drainage ends up running off into that existing culvert, and then there's some up above that kind of meanders through the wetland and kind of gets channelized where we're adding that pipe.
I see the fill area is 1,150 square feet. Is that that's the total area of disturbance of the wetland in that area?
It is.
And how much fill is being placed in that for the driveway?
So we're only changing the grade between like 4 and 6 inches of what exists now. So there's not an increase in fill where we're creating side slopes down to that wetland.
Well,
There
it must
is a-
be at least 12 inches. If you have a 12-inch pipe, it must be at least 12 inches high there, isn't it?
Well, that drops off from the driveway down to where that pipe would come through.
And there is an existing cart path there.
Right, it's already
Right
kind
now.
of built up a little bit now.
How old is that existing cart path, would you say? Do you know? Is that,
Based on information from the owner, it's been there for many years, probably decades. I don't know the exact age
Oh,
on
Many
it.
years or decades.
Been there for long.
I think
A while.
it probably matches up with the break in the stone wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, provided access to this backland of some sort. I don't know what the nature of that was.
You don't think it's necessary for an additional pipe, right?
I always
culvert?
think, I mean, you can always throw them in. I'm not against even putting 8 inches or 12, and even if it's not designed for it, it doesn't cost much to put a pipe in as they're building the driveway, just so it doesn't allow for some bleeding, but they always just put the minimum in.
Right. So your flow calculation is based on the flow rate coming through that channel or through the wetlands as a whole?
Through the wetlands, so basically everything that contributes upstream of those two culverts in the 100-year storm.
Okay.
And they've located at the channelized portion.
Oh yeah, no, that makes sense. I just you considered. I just feel like there'd be a lot of water here.
Mm-hmm.
And we get 100-year storms more frequently than every 100 years. But actually, I was more interested in the wildlife, but I suppose if there's already a cart path there that the wildlife are managing,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be
It's not like
paved.
your typical raised crossing.
Well, it is being raised.
And it's
I
being
see
raised,
grading.
and it's being paved.
And, because I agree with you, I think it's a detriment to wildlife.
Would it still be shady there?
Will it be shady?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be shady. There's not a huge portion of this lot based on this erosion control that's being cut. I mean, the rest of it's gonna remain wooded. You're just gonna have basically that access now will be widened slightly.
It was all wooden. I should've,
Should have just think about
I
that.
know.
This is what it looks like.
Oh, and what's the foundation of the shed?
That would be a slab.
What percentage of the site is wetland and what percentage is upland?
I mean, I'd say it's pretty close to split. This area here is upland, this back is all wet, and this area is all wet. So it's close to 50-50, give or take.
Isn't the percentage of wetland on the lot has something to do with the amount of square footage you're allowed to occupy with the building?
Riverfront area. is what
Oh,
you're
it's
thinking.
riverfront area.
Yeah,
Thanks.
we
It's a
don't have that.
percentage.
Some towns have that. You can only do so many.
Upland versus
But we don't have
wetland.
that
Okay.
criteria.
Northbridge, Sutton.
So that's why the
Other
alternative
places, not
analysis
here.
is to meet the riverfront calculations
Okay, yep.
in the regulations.
I was only saying because we've increased the building size by adding the shed.
Well, that's disturbance.
Right.
It's not building.
Okay, okay,
So
thanks.
He could put a,
The disturbance
you
is
could
the
put a-
same.
you could put a storage barn in there as big as you want, as long as the disturbance is under 10%
Mm-hmm.
of the riverfront area.
Mm-hmm.
So bottom line, what's your opinion? Is the second pipe gonna be enough to handle whatever volume?
Well, that's why we can't design it for him, but we asked for the information that, make sure that, my concern was that he had the flow rate calculations, so it was designed properly by his professional engineer. I am always for throwing an extra pipe in if it doesn't, just for, you never know, for storms and water flow, and just so this back area doesn't dry up, which tends to happen. Now water comes this way, and so now water's gonna come here and over here.
Was the calculation based on just the 1 12-inch or the one plus the existing?
The one plus existing, so
Okay.
splitting those. I mean, I guess if you guys are agreeable, that could be looked at during construction to see if a third pipe would be necessary, but based on the calculations and based on field observation, it seems to be adequate here, and I think, to Steve's point, provides hydrology through this upper part, so everything's not just coming through here and running down.
Like it was before.
What's the, how is the crossing built? Is it just built with fill or is it built with gravel?
So that will
Or is
be
it built
built
with stone,
with
like crushed
gravel.
stone?
So there'll be a little bit of gravel placed. There's already some gravel on that cart path. So it'll be, we'll verify the depths and we'll build it up a little bit before putting the pavement down.
You have a detail also for that culvert.
Yeah, that's the proposed placing.
Culvert detail only shows gravel around the culvert, it looks like, but what if the entire crossing was built with a bigger stone that allows seepage through the stone to get, so that we don't dry up the wetland on the lower side, as Steve raised a concern about?
That wouldn't
They're
support,
planning to pave it.
that wouldn't support the pavement.
No.
Yeah, well, if you build like a 3-inch rock or 3-inch stone, and it allows water to seep underneath through that rock to get from one side to the other, as
You think-
opposed to just relying on pipes.
Without the compaction.
You could put a layer of fabric down, like to hold the rock up, and then rock over the, and then a fabric again, maybe over the top or something like that.
Yeah, you're allowing water to move under that driveway, which is never a good thing.
Heaving and,
Right. That freezes and then heaves and then,
I mean, I would say go with an additional pipe versus
Yeah.
some sort of other material, if that's a concern, if the applicant is agreeable. The existing one is 8 inch.
12 inch.
The existing is 12?
Existing.
Oh, okay.
You'll
What's
have
the
two-
length?
12 and a 12.
Yeah.
Was that two 12s?
12 here and then we added a second 12.
Were you willing to throw another pipe in, have to split the
Another
difference?
12, because honestly, the other concern would be what if one of them gets clogged? And that's a long passage for a pipe.
What's the length?
Across that driveway, it's maybe 16 feet long.
Yep.
That time is, I mean, it's not a real
It's only
long
a-
pipe.
Plastic pipe, right?
It's a, that one's actually a corrugated metal
No,
pipe.
but the one you
And,
proposed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not replacing that existing.
Right.
Right.
That's a big pipe.
Would they
That'll
entertain the
move a lot of
additional
water.
one, evenly
Yeah, but
spaced?
It's not concrete, it can't be that expensive.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, my concern would
Not at
be
all.
to make it effective, you know, if we need to decide that in the field when we look at it, which is kind
The
of how we
location
picked-
to be
yeah,
effective?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd be willing to let them pick the location of the field, absolutely, yeah.
In case it was more closer to the channelized area. Okay. So you're good with that?
I'm good with that.
So that's kind of before we need it, before you pave the driveway, just in case of emergencies pipe.
Redundancy.
Board, any other comments or questions?
So other than this confusion here on the crossing, were there other things on the plan that needed to be
Yeah,
shown?
Yep, he did, everything in the minutes
the break on the wall.
has been addressed.
Yeah, that's been addressed. right?
Yes. Stockpile area, profile of the driveway, cross-section of the culvert, add the break in the wall, a construction sequence, reference to the wetland bylaw, hydrology of the soils and erosion controls, along with stormwater calculations, which Steve has reviewed.
Well, it's what we asked him to do, so.
Yep.
Sounds like you did with the
Yeah.
How much more we can ask them?
Okay. Lauren, nothing?
Is this a public hearing?
Yes, it is. I was just giving you a chance. Anyone in the audience have any questions or concerns in regards to this agenda item? No. Okay.
Make a motion, close the public hearing.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded? All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. With the condition of the additional 12-inch?
Yeah, I'd make a motion to issue the condition,
Order conditions.
order of conditions for, what we're looking at, 832 Northwest Main Street.
Mhm.
Conditions being the addition of 12-inch pipe at the construction discretion. And then, yeah, everything else seems to be on the plan.
Okay. Motion's been made.
Second.
Second, I think Mike got that.
That's it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
No.
Okay. And one no. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are we keeping this plan? Do we have revised
Yeah,
plans?
this is for the file.
Is this you? Okay.
Yep. Thank you.
Next, we have a 7:50 PM Public meeting, 200 Northwest Main Street, Thomas Evers.
Right at that, too.
Come on down. One moment, please. The Town of Douglas Conservation Commission will hold a public meeting for Thomas Evers on September 16th, 2019 at 7 p.m. in the Municipal Center, 29 Depot Street, for work to be done pursuant to the Town of Douglas Wetland Bylaw and the Wetland Protection Act, Mass General Law, Chapter 131, Section 40. The proposed request for determination of applicability work location is 200 Northwest Main Street, and the application is requesting permission to replace an existing garage with a new one in the same location as the existing garage. Okay, name and address, please.
Hi, so my name is Brian Hassett, and I'm a civil engineer for Allen Engineering and Associates over in Hopedale. Here representing Tom and Gail Evers tonight. They're able to make it, they're back there. Like you said, our project is located at 200 Northwest Main Street. Our clients are seeking to replace an existing garage with a new one. The new one would be no closer to the resource areas. It'd be slightly larger in size. The new garage would be 40 feet by 24 feet. And the existing garage is about 20'7" by 30'10". You can see both of them on the plan here. The existing garage is inside the proposed new garage. It would just be a standard garage. It's not, wouldn't be any like automotive repairs or anything like that going on in there. Just something to keep their vehicles and keep their stuff. We are currently proposing erosion control that would attach to the existing house. You can see here. It would wrap around the proposed location for the new garage and the existing garage. The silt fence, or the erosion control we'd be using would be a mulch stock erosion control held in place by bean holes or wooden stakes. That's about it.
So here's some photos of the site. Here's the existing structure.
Okay.
And as you can see, there's hydrangeas. So there's clear, it's cleared from here down to the water. And they're staying within the same footprint. I don't think they're getting any closer to the water. They might be getting a little wider.
Correct, yeah. But the directions they're expanding are not towards the water or the property line, but they're towards the center of the lot and towards the front of the lot.
You've got some tree clearing?
I don't think so. Maybe a little bit around the structure. Let's see.
Well, from the other direction, it looked like it was in the bushes.
Yeah, there's brush behind it, it looks like.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe
But
some
no
brush
large
that
trees.
Yeah, no. Because like I said, we're holding the back corners of the garage, so any area that would be expanding to would be into what is currently grass yard.
Okay. No stockpiling within the 100? No machinery parked within the 100?
Nope.
Steve's to inspect the erosion control before any demolition begins.
Yeah, so I talked to the owner, and so up where I believe I take this last. Up here is where he said he's probably gonna stockpile the material.
Right, it would be about right here.
That's correct. Yeah,
It'd be right about here on the plan.
Okay.
Outside the
Yeah.
buffer zone.
Outside the buffer.
And any proposed driveway addition there? Or is it outside the
Not-
front doors?
The front doors would be right here.
Okay, so that's outside the 100.
Right.
Okay.
I think they might grade this up, but this work here, he talked about grading up, because I
Outside.
think he brings his boat down in here, so he's gonna keep access.
Yeah, that's outside anyway.
So it's outside the jurisdiction.
There's already another existing garage, it notes on the property. What is gonna be the purpose of this garage? Because it doesn't look like a garage that you put vehicles in.
Well, I would to put vehicles in general storage.
Could you pull that one up a little closer?
Oh yeah.
So you have
And no
two?
proposed grading?
No proposed grading now. All the existing grades would remain the same.
So you will have two garages, right? This existing one will sort of be left alone, and here you're tearing one down and putting a new one in?
That's correct.
It's not a garage.
That one we don't care about because it's outside the 100.
Yeah.
Noted.
Stay in our lane.
But we care about what happens within the 100-foot buffer of a wetland, don't we?
Yep.
Of course, yeah, they're telling us it's a garage. I mean, we haven't seen the plans, but we would think that somebody would be parking in there, yeah.
Well, there's not driveway to it. It
It's
doesn't look
outside the
like-
100.
Pardon?
I just asked about the driveway. So the doors are gonna be towards the front, which is outside the 100. So anything that they do in the front of this structure here, they could do whatever they wanted. But yeah, we missed that on the plan. Way to get in.
You're increasing the amount of non-permeable surface within the 100. Is there a plan to put gutters on this?
I don't believe that'd be the plan right now. The increase in impervious area would only be 221 square feet total.
That sounds like a lot.
It's about 20 by 10 feet.
Do you know that for a fact? Are you looking at, you're looking at this portion right
Yeah,
here?
that space.
I was,
Here?
well, sorry, that 221 square feet would be in its entirety, not.
It's less than that.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
That's
less than,
about half
the
of
221 would include the area outside the buffer too, right?
Yeah, that's what I want. Just clarify that it's the,
Yep. But I mean, right now you don't have any issues there now. Right now you have all the shrubs in front of there. Were you planning on clearing out the shrubs around there to build?
I think that'd be a necessity in order to get the new foundation in there, yeah.
I suppose
Are
with that
they-
erosion control, so you're...
Right, that's the purpose behind it, is any kind of disturbance, any kind of silt that we might have to do, because we'd have to.
so you're looking at the shrubbery here, which this is their limit of disturbance. Where
Right.
the erosion control is, so that's what they're requesting, this area
Yeah,
right here to be, for work to be done in.
right.
Whole area, so not necessarily trees, but that shrubbery.
I guess it's not very steep. I was just contemplating issues with erosion with the... Because right now you get water running off that and it's kind of caught by all the shrubs and plants that are there now. If you take those down and you put a garage in, now you've introduced water flow that doesn't have anything hindering it besides the grassy lawn.
Well, I would suggest that Steve can make sure that that's stabilized before the erosion control is removed.
Yeah.
We can condition that.
Can we ask that that be replanted with landscaping rather than lawn? Where the trees are, at the back of the garage?
Towards the water side, Mark?
Yes.
Yeah,
The
Yeah,
hydrangeas.
the part that's in our jurisdiction.
But you can't see the building because there's,
There's a sapling
Shrubs and
right there.
Yep.
my thought there is that lawn and grass is maintained, fertilized, pesticides applied to it. It's within the 100-foot buffer. And if we can reduce the amount of lawnscape, it may help in reducing flow of chemicals
Do you
and
want to
things.
ask your owners if the
if that's-
disturbed
if
land,
that would
the
be-
disturbed area within your, so it's going to be this area here?
The entirety of the limit of work that's not occupied by the garage and not occupied by the kind of lane that you would be using to get it down
Right.
there.
Yeah, I think here to here.
Because like it is good now.
Right, but then you have.
I don't know if that's something would be
One
agreeable
second,
to you or
let's-
not. It's really kind of a
Let's just hear
personal.
from the
I probably
owners.
got all the answers to everybody.
Okay, let's
Thank
hear,
you.
and name and address, please.
Thomas E. Evers, 200 North West Main Street. That's our home right there.
Okay.
And my wife Gail.
Hi.
That's all brush shrub that's grown up in front of that over the years. That's,
Yeah.
it's nothing planted, it's nothing fire. We're gonna make a nice garage there with nice shrubbery around it, just like that house.
You're gonna
is-
put shrubs around
Oh,
it?
look how beautiful that, we ain't
It
taking away
is.
from that. Oh,
It
yeah.
is.
You're not gonna let anything run down on that lot.
Okay, so we're proposing this disturbed area to be landscaped with shrubbery.
Yep.
And not lawn.
Correct.
And that can be another condition.
Yep.
You're writing this all down?
That's fine.
You have your pen in your pocket.
This is my pencil.
Oh, okay. Anything else, board, that we can think of?
No machinery within the something or other.
Within the 100-foot buffer, no stockpiling, no machinery, no grading,
No trees.
no trees to be removed.
Steve, can you go back to the picture that shows the driveway going down
Disturbed
towards the
area
existing structure?
between new garage and
And
reservoir. Yeah, and limit of disturbance to be landscaped with shrubbery and no lawn.
Can I get that?
And Steve to inspect the site to make sure that it's stabilized before removal of the erosion control.
Just because that, I think, could potentially be confusing, could we include something that would still allow this width, this lane here through for his boat access? Just because the limit of disturbance does go around and connect all the way to the house.
I said from the front, from between the garage to the
Oh.
reservoir.
Okay, sorry, thanks.
It's okay.
That's great.
It's all right. You're new, right?
Yeah.
We're super friendly.
Can I ask what is gonna happen with the water here, where it shows there's a curb and we're kind of directing the water over towards that garage?
Nothing would really, we don't have any plans to do anything with that. That's, again, it's kind of out here.
But
Right.
It's going right towards the structure, so if you want to be able to access that structure, you're gonna have to go through that little swale to get there?
I don't think so. I think you could go around it if you needed to.
Didn't you note some grades on your application?
Did I?
Top of concrete, I think,
Is that water currently going around the structure or going off the property above the structure? I can't tell from looking at the picture.
Does look like there's a downgrade there.
It's not on the plan.
Yeah, it doesn't show on the plan.
It's gotta go downhill.
I mean, my guess is the intent was to direct the water towards the forest so it didn't erode across the lawn.
Exactly. I would
That's
say-
probably the original intent,
I
yes.
would say, yeah.
Oh, yes, the owner.
If you're going to park a car there, are you going to end up driving across your swale every time?
That garage is gonna be mostly for storage. It's not gonna be an everyday in and out garage.
Okay,
You know, like put the stuff away for the winter, lock the door and that type
Okay.
of thing, yeah.
yard implements and,
Right. Snow fighting,
Chairs.
snow fighting equipment.
yep.
They could always
Okay.
do a graded drainage across the front if they determine that it's going to be running right into the structure.
I don't think it is, I don't think it's meant to, I think it goes to the woods. I wish it was on the
looks
plan.
pretty, well, the topos are on there. So you've got the full, the
Yeah,
10-foot.
it's a 10-foot topo,
Yeah.
it's not gonna show up. This doesn't show who owns the property next to it. Is there another house or anything on the property next to it?
There is, it's not really nearby though.
It's on the plans, it's on the screen here.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
can see it up there, yeah.
Could you zoom in a little bit? You zoom in a little more.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks. So you have that wooded area between the two. They've just gotta use best management practices on that, the front there, if there is a water issue. It's outside of our purview.
So this is an RDA, not a notice of intent.
Mm-hmm.
So the abutters don't have to be notified?
Correct.
Right.
We did have to still put it in the newspaper. I do have that here.
Oh, yes, I had a copy also.
Okay.
I'm sorry, did you have a question? Name and address again, please.
Mr. Thomas E. Evers, that's 200 Northwest Main Street, our residence. We've been there approximately 40 years, year-round, and we've never had a large water issue or anything like that. We maintain it pristine.
Okay. All right, there was
It's not
like a
long,
little cracking on the pavement on the front there that Mark was pointing out in the picture.
That's probably from the last time the sand truck was in there.
Okay. All right. So there's like a little path right there. Can you zoom in? Hold on. Right
Yep.
there?
Right.
That's kind of like a paved swale to...
Then the rest is garage building, yeah. That's
Okay.
only about 10 feet from that truck.
Okay.
Looks further than what it is, yeah.
Okay. Hmm?
That's
Lauren, any other questions?
I don't, I have,
You ready with the conditions?
think
And
so.
also, Steve, to inspect the erosion control before any work begins. You got that
Oh,
one?
no, I have the check.
Before the
they remove it.
demolition begins. Okay.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion
Mm-hmm.
to issue the order, the negative RDA with the order of conditions.
With some special conditions.
Special, these are special conditions?
Yeah, super special.
Very special.
Mm-hmm.
These special conditions. That the disturbance, the area of disturbance between the garage and the reservoir, that you're gonna end up clearing, be replanted with some kind of shrubbery as opposed to lawn. There be no machinery within the 100-foot buffer. There will be no trees that are removed. There will be no grading. There will be no stockpiling. That Steve is to check on the location before the existing structure is torn down, and then also to check that the area is stabilized before the removal of erosion controls.
Okay, pretty good.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Okay, motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, application for Conservation Commission. In your packet, you have an application for member. We are second choice for him, so I would say if he doesn't get a position on the Cultural Council, he can come on in and talk to us, and we can let him know what we're all about.
Yes.
Good night.
Thank you.
Sir, are you here for anything?
I'm the applicant.
Oh, come on over.
Okay, Bob, didn't even know he was there.
I'm the applicant because Suzanne said you had a bigger need in the cultural council, so that's how I ended up.
Oh,
being here.
okay.
So it was 6 of one, half dozen of the other, not so
Yeah.
much at first and second. I just put the cultural council first because I was on the cultural council when I was living in the town of Auburn.
Okay.
So it was just a natural list that first, but
Yep.
so when I sent it in with both, she contacted me back and said, well, would you consider the cultural council because they have a bigger need? I said, sure.
The Cultural
this-
Council?
I mean, the Conservation
Okay.
Commission.
Yeah.
So is the Cultural Council, do they have any seats available?
This was back in December that I originally applied, filled the application out. At the time, I think she had said that there's, may have been a seat open. I don't know if there's one open now. I didn't see it when I looked at the current listings. I didn't see anything open on that council.
Okay.
And she said a lot of times she just keeps that up there in case they have something open.
Okay, all right. Well, what is your preference?
Wherever I'm most needed. As, I mean, this, it's like
You
I
look like
mentioned in my
you're an avid
application.
hunter.
Well, no, this is actually just, I like the camouflage and this stuff.
Okay.
This has all been treated with bug repellent.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah,
with the
yeah.
one being out in the dusk with wonderful mosquitoes all about, it's kind of like, I just threw my bug repellent
Okay.
stuff on.
Okay.
But I do live on wetlands, which I've learned a few things tonight. I'm not sure I
Okay.
wanted to know.
Okay.
Yep.
My
All right.
father-in-law owns the property, and it's kind of like, yeah, okay.
Probably does all kinds of things you're not supposed to.
Yeah, but I'm
Well,
not saying
we're on
that.
camera, so let's not
Yeah.
go there.
So,
Okay, so, I mean, we would welcome you here. We have our 5 full members right now, so we do have 2 seats open, and we have an associate with us. He's not with us here tonight because he has school, I think, so. We could send along a favorable recommendation, and if you would like to join us, you can, or cultural council, you can.
Sure. Look, this would actually be, I
We can
think,
find you
in
a
some
spot.
ways, a new experience, and something that's actually kind of like a little bit more interesting in some ways, kind
Huh.
of
It's very interesting.
get my brain more active and
Okay.
involved.
Okay,
So,
all right. So,
Absolutely.
Boy, we're good with that?
Question.
Yes?
The cultural council, is that something new?
I'm not familiar with the cultural council.
Well, when you go by the senior, it used to be the senior citizens place there and the post
At the
office.
post office.
The sign has been changed, it's now the cultural center, not the senior
Oh,
center.
yeah.
So I was just wondering.
It's
is
not
this-
just for the elderly.
Yeah.
Multi-purpose now.
So, my question was, is this a newly renamed council that's been around for a while, that
Yeah, it's been around a long
It was
time.
it was listed on the town site. The cultural council is, local council is responsible for managing funds for the arts and cultural activities for the community that are provided by the state cultural council. Not every community has one. Some have joint committees that cover more than one area based on the size of the area's population, the amount of money that those areas get granted, things like that.
Which night do they meet?
Don't recall. I'm not sure that I actually saw that.
Okay.
Well, because they don't conflict, you can do both.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
where I was going with that. You could
Okay.
always do both
Yeah,
boards.
they consider that. Start with one and see how involved it gets.
Yeah, so board, you all set. We'll just send along a letter to the selectmen, and they'll probably call you in to whichever board you'd like to choose, and then you can make your final decision. They would appoint you, and then Suzanne will probably reach out to you. So we'll just put it in our notes. They're good to go.
Okay.
Thank you very much for waiting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
Very informative and, yes,
We'd love to have you. Thank you.
thank you. Okay. So now I just wait to hear.
You'll have to be appointed by the selectmen, so you.
Yeah, you'll have to go see them.
Okay. Thanks very
Thank
much.
you. Have a good one.
You too.
Okay, we have a voucher to sign along with all of the items.
Things we approved.
Mike, did you want to do minutes?
I had a question on the minutes. Under
which day? Which?
the August 26th minutes, the last meeting, when we move to other business, and it talks about it in here, but it says, this does this book the property,
Yeah.
but I think it should say what property.
True.
Yes.
It doesn't.
Okay.
So I'd like to amend the minutes to put in the address somewhere under other business.
See if we can.
We can either review the tape, have her review the tape, or if we can figure out where he was.
That's right, you were there, so you must be able to tell
That's
us.
a long time ago.
We could just add it, you know.
Good point.
Oh, that's the Keven Conservation property.
Okay.
Do we have an actual address for that?
It's next to Southwest Maine.
It's south.
Southwest Maine's along.
Right before
Southeast.
Vine and,
I don't know if we
That's
actually.
Southeast
No.
Maine.
I don't think there's
Southeast
an
Maine.
actual address. Oh, that's a good point. It's the Keven Conservation
can you
property.
look at it?
I mean, I would be okay with calling it the Keven Conservation
Yeah, at least-
Property.
I think
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about.
Right,
Yeah, no, so
good point.
what is it on page?
The last page.
Page
So,
4.
The last page. All right, so what is the property?
The Keven Conservation Property.
Keven.
Keven Conservation.
Keevan.
Yep.
Yes,
Even?
Mhm.
two E's.
So it would say, Mr. Zisk walked the Keven Conservation Property Saturday.
Right.
Yep. Perfect. Any other changes that we wanted to make on this?
That was the only one I had.
I don't know.
You just got this one, right?
Just
So
got-
you
yeah.
gotta take a look.
Do you want to take a look at it? Okay, well,
Did you have any from the previous ones that we had?
6-3.
Yeah.
I did, actually. No, I'll go along with, if they're okay with August 26th. We have to do something about July 15. I couldn't find anything in July 15.
I didn't check them.
I just skimmed through.
What was that for?
Because they were on,
Do you have the mail?
I have this to be
To be
signed.
signed,
I
yeah.
don't have mail though.
Maybe it's a scanning.
Oh, you want
Forest
mail?
cutting. Oh.
Nothing. Did I want to entertain a motion for the 6-3?
anybody still wanna go back and review July 15, or are you okay with
6-3.
moving it?
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah, I think we're all set.
Guess not.
6-3?
Yeah.
Make a motion to approve the minutes of June 3rd, 2019,
As written.
as written.
Motion been
Second.
made. Second. All is in favor?
Aye.
Okay. One abstention. And 7:15.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for, as written for July 15.
Motion been made.
Second.
Seconded. All is in favor?
Aye.
Then we'll hold on the August 26th.
Yeah, I want to know those two.
Okay.
I thought that was a long.
That was the one after the power outage.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we rescheduled.
but I'm just looking at the minutes. This
Yeah,
is
there
like
might
4
be other
pages of stuff.
That's just all that jumped at me. Oh
Wanna
my
pass
God.
these
We
along?
gotta sign all that stuff?
Yeah.
Well, we
And,
approved a lot of things.
Steve, could you double check that we're using the correct version for these? Because this is from 2004.
Yes, I will. I
I
downloaded.
believe I requested that.
I did.
a
And
long
I have it
time
all
ago.
downloaded. And I'll talk to her tomorrow about it.
Okay. All right. And then we did get a correspondence for a forest cutting plan. Steve, you want to just update the board on that while we sign these?
Let's see if,
Just in case anybody's asking.
Gonna have cramp.
Yeah, so, we get forest cutting plans, so people submit them from the state, you know, when people come in, they're allowed to they apply to the Department of Environmental Management, the state forester. And usually, you know, they're allowed to work within our jurisdiction because it supersedes with the jurisdiction of the forester. But when there's certain plans, I review them, sometimes they don't really get that detailed on what they're, sometimes, they're allowed to do crossings and stuff, but you have to do best management practices, which means when it's extremely dry or extremely frozen conditions. But there was a forest cutting plan I reviewed this weekend, and I had some concerns that, let's see if I have, isn't this coming up? It's off of Chestnut Street, and here's a copy of the parcel. The forest cutting plans that they
Which
want
one is that one? Sorry.
they want to clear this area here. They're going to come in here and they want to clear this whole area and work around Hemlock Street and Tinkerville Brook at the same time. And so I sent the letter to the email this weekend. I was very concerned about, let's see if I have some more of these.
Can you just zoom in on that little map that you have?
This one here, this is a good one. So I gave them all these pictures, and that this is, you can see here how it,
They're running kind of parallel and then they converge.
there's a stream that comes down here. Hemlock Brook kind of just branches off. And so they have multiple crossings, they have riverfront area,
goodness.
sensitive areas coming off the street, and the plan didn't get into any of that. So I gave it to our regional director of the DEP. I gave it to the forest, I know Guy LaChance, I've been working with him for 20 years, but he's usually pretty good, so I emailed it to him and asked that the Natural Heritage take a look at it also. And she sent an email back thanking us, because they usually get these after the fact. So
Is that a,
Oh, good.
hopefully
Absolutely.
they'll do
Yes.
further review
'Cause
of the plan. See if I
What's
have,
this for?
I'll show you, let's see if I have,
is it just for, it's just for wood?
yeah. It's not around this.
Yes?
I just happened to notice on this RDA, none of the boxes are checked. Aren't we supposed to have something checked in there?
We'll do it after, because we're not sure how you guys were voting.
Right.
Here's the forest cutting plan.
Steve takes full responsibility for getting the boxes correctly checked,
So this is their forest cutting
along
plan that
with
they
the additions
they give this to a
of the
forester.
conditions.
They do
Right. These-
some stream crossings, they do how many board feet, what type of wood they're harvesting, the forester goes out there, they mark it all, they don't want to clear cut, but they thin it out,
Yeah.
which is, standard procedure. And he kind of gives it, and then this is his plan that they submitted to the forester. And so this is where that Hemlock Brook comes through here, and then Tinkerville Brook comes through here, and they both merge. It's unusual in Douglas, we don't have too many areas where two perennial streams merge into one. And then, as you can see on here, this is done by the forest cutting company. It's kind of the layman's way, they kind of just map it out
A forester.
in a forester in the field.
Tree harvester.
Right,
Yes.
so I gave them all these maps, and as you can see on this map here, how the brook comes through, and it really just meanders down as it separates through there. So they're gonna be trucking all through here. They'll be cutting on this side, how they're gonna be crossing this. And then also on, let's see if I have this plan here.
Do you want me to take that plan? Yeah, so pretty much I just wanted to bring that up to the board so that they knew what was going on Chestnut, and that Steve did catch that the DEP was not aware.
So these two brooks come down, this one comes down here, this one comes through here, and when they show it on the USGS map, it's just one solid line. When we saw the aerial, you can see how it just kind of, it
Yeah.
branches
It's
off
clear.
and separates it.
Yeah.
All kinds of different streams.
And then that goes down to Round Top?
That goes into Round Top, so eventually it
Rhode
works
Island, right?
into Rhode Island. Right here, it goes down, yeah, into Little Round Top Brook.
Mhm.
If you ever been down there, on where the Civil War monument is, down there by the old gravel pit.
I have not been there.
It's up on the, as you go into the Rhode Island line on the left,
Mm-hmm.
there's an old gravel pit that goes in there. There's a cross, they cross this battling brook.
Okay.
As you cross it, right up to the right, the gravel bank goes up, and if you go up that hill, it's a little, probably size of, cemetery size of this, and it's got the Civil War monument.
Oh, the cemetery I've been to, yeah.
It's Civil War because there are Civil War monuments are just white.
Yep.
That brook is nice. If you ever,
Yeah, it is. I have been on, because that's what started my cemetery adventure, because they were excavating into the cemetery.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So usually, they do some crossing, but this is unusual to have two perennial streams. And usually we try to they do crossings, but when it comes to riverfront, we try to keep them out of riverfront or
Oh, yeah,
doing any cutting in
absolutely.
riverfront.
Because you can't really throw the mats down,
Right.
like the timber mats they use for crossing for an intermittent or a
Right.
wet area, but not necessarily
A
for,
perennial.
yeah.
Yep.
So her response was,
You know, loose.
oh, thank you for reviewing, giving us comments. We didn't see this until after they,
They don't usually see them until after they're issued.
Yes.
thank you, I don't think that's.
Oh, good job.
So, no, well, stay tuned. It's just, I don't really care about that. It's just that whole area is, they call that Beer Swamp
Interesting.
in Douglas, the old timers. So, right? Yeah,
Bears.
Beer Swamp. It's
Was
one
there
of
a bear in there?
Is there beer in there?
Bear.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much.